नमो नमो अरहन्ताडं नमो सिद्धाडं नमो आयरियाडं नमो उवच्छायाडं नमो लोये सव्वसाहूडम् मंगलम भगवान वीरो मंगलम गौतमो गणि मंगलम कुंद कुंदात्यो चैन धर्मोस्तु मंगलम सर्वमंगल्य मांगल्यम सर्वकल्याणकारकम प्रधानां सर्वधर्माणां चैनं जयतु शासनम् चैनं जयतु शासनम् चैनं जयतु शासनम् मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं भेत्तारं कर्मभूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. So we're learning about the five Parmeshthis. And in that process, we have learned that it's not the person, but that person's attributes that are actually adorable. And we all bow down to Vitrag Vigyanta. And whoever has attained that Vitrag Vigyanta is, in truest sense, adorable for us. We'll admire them, we'll adore them, we'll bow down to them. Uh, that's what the whole concept of uh, to whom to bow down to is all about. Then five Parmeshthis, they all have their basic attributes that are defined in the Jainism. But again, we learned about this particular Gatha, which said that these five Parmeshthis are nothing but the particular forms or particular pariyas, modifications of the soul. A soul, when graduates to a particular level of innate, what should I say, manifestation, that soul becomes Acharya, Upadhyaya, Sadhu. And then further, when it graduates, by destroying the Ghatya karmas, it becomes Arihanta. And by destroying all the remainder karmas, it becomes Siddha. So the question that stared at us right into our eyes was that, does soul really exist? If there is no soul, then there will be no point in talking about the five Parmeshthis, talking about the liberation, talking about the karmas, the circle of life and death, the body and the soul, they both are different. All these things will just evaporate. If we do not make it a point that we believe in a soul, in a living being, all these things will not matter, right? So today is what we started discussing about it in the last class, and we focused a bit on the creator. Whether do we need somebody who creates us, and when he creates us, then we play this whole game of daily chores, waking up, getting ready, going to school, office, eating, then resting for some time, playing, and then going back to bed again. The cycle we keep on repeating. Is it happening just to entertain somebody's ill will? Are we doing it just to entertain the creator? We are just what? We are just the puppets in the hand of creator. Is there a creator? And if not, then why are we here? Since when are we here? And what is this purpose of this life? What is the purpose of this whole existence? That's what we all are thinking, discussing about. So in the last class, we concluded that if at all there is somebody who is a creator, that person of all things cannot be a person worth respecting, because we'll not respect somebody who is so sadist, who enjoys seeing us in suffering, who enjoys the world which has so much of dissimilarity, so much of contrast, where there are wealthy people, there are poor people. There is no justice. If we just see prima facie, if we look at the world, there's actually no justice system that is in place. Even though we have courts, we have, you can approach any of the justice systems that are prevailing in our countries, in whichever countries we live. But we again know that those who are the culprits seldom, often, in the rarest chances, they get convicted of the crimes in their lifetimes, right? So in actual, there is no justice if we look at the world just a small, very quick glance tells us that, okay, there is too much unjust, too much corruption, too much inequality, too much exploitation that's happening around. So if there is a creator, actually, he is a great mismanager. He has done this disastrous setting by creating this world. So then again, we also thought that, okay, fine, let's take this case. He created this world. Let's assume he created this world. Where did he create it? Was he living somewhere? Was there space beforehand? Or he created the space first? If he created the space before creating it, where was he dwelling? And if the space was already there, then there is something that he did not create. The same thing goes with the time. And if space and time could exist without him creating them, then it should hold true for other things as well. I anyway am not going to meet the creator in this lifetime. And if I have to fictionally believe in him, first let me make a case that whether he exists or not. If things do not require him to be created, so if the space can survive without being created by the creator, then clearly there must be other things as well. Yes, there is time. There is also time which exists without a creator creating it. So when we have already two things, and we're very much willing to believe that they are not created by anybody, they all have existed, then automatically we can conclude that it would be very great naivety to just believe blindly that somebody created this world. We have to dig further. So I'm going to show you one picture and we'll start a discussion with that picture. I'm sure you must be familiar with that picture, this picture. Have you seen it? What is it? Ever seen this picture? Yes. Okay. Janav has raised his hand. Who else? Anybody who have seen who have seen this? Soham, you have ever seen this picture?
Yes, it's Gen Universe.
Yeah, it's Jane Universe.
Yeah.
Where have you seen this picture?
In the in textbooks,
In textbooks. Okay.
like Janwani and everything.
Okay, Chinmani and everything. Very good. Yes. Yes, Janav, where have you seen it and what is it?
Is the teen logo the universe of
Oh.
which we believe
you,
in?
you guys, I think, are regular Pathshala kids, I think, because to most people in this world, this is just the logo of Jainism, just the branding. That's it. But yes, it's not just the logo of Jainism, it's actually the Jain universe, three worlds: Urdhvalok, that is upper world, Madhyalok is the middle world, and the Adholok, where all the hells are there. So that's the Adholok, the lower world, right? So it's not in 2D, it's actually in 3D. It's a setting which is of 343 cubic Raju. If you somebody asks you what is the area of or what is the volume of these three worlds, so the volume is 343 cubic Raju. Okay, 343 cubic Raju. Raju is the unit in which we measure the distance while we are talking about the universe. Okay, so it's in totality, its height is 14 Raju. You know, it's 14 Raju long. Its height is 14 Raju, and its depth is 7 Rajus, and its width is from the at the base it is 7 Raju. In the middle 1 Raju. If we climb up 7 Rajus, so from the middle, so 14 divided by 2 is 7. At 7 Raju, its width is 1 Raju. Then further we'll go to 3.5 Rajus up. It will spread, it will widen to be 5 Rajus. And at the top where Siddhas reside, it's again 1 Raju. So it's more or less like a person who is standing, putting his hands on his waist and spreading his leg. And you just ignore his head. So that becomes the map of the universe. So I will give you this small problem. Can we calculate the area of this? How can we calculate the area of these three worlds then? I have given you all the dimension. It's a simple mathematical problem now. Right? Can you find out? Let's say I have given you the total height. It's 14 Raju. Okay. The depth is 7 Raju all across. Okay. And now we have width. Width, there is a trick. Okay. So the lower base, So let's try to find out how to calculate this area. Can you do that? Anybody?
The calculation is for the volume, right? Or the area?
For the volume.
Yeah.
Volume. Yeah. So let's say if I have, this is the map, right? Right. So if I have the height or in totality 14 Rajus. Okay, that's 4. Okay, please ignore my writing. And this is 1, this is 5, this is 1, and this is 7. And the depth, we have 7. So it's actually deep. So he's going to tell me what is the area of volume? Length into breadth into height, LBH, right? Simple. So do we have the length? Yes, it's 14 Rajus. Correct? And height, sorry, height is 14 Raju, and we know the length, it's 7 Raju. Just a second. So length is 7 Rajus and height is 14 Rajus. Correct? And what is the breadth that we have? How wide it is? Are you guys doing? You guys are doing it, right? Or it's just me who is doing it?
Yeah, we're true. The breadth is 7, Raju, right?
No, it's different.
No. It's the length, the depth.
Yeah, the depth is how much? 7 or
7.
7 from the base, in the middle 1, then 5, and then 1. So
No,
we'll
but
take the
the
average.
depth?
Yeah. So average depth would be 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7. That would be 14, and we'll divide it by 4 because we have taken it 4. So it would be the average width. You got it? Jia, Adi, are you guys lost or you're doing it? You have done it? Yes, Adi, what's your answer?
343.
Yeah, that's what I told in the beginning, right? Yeah, so it's 343. And since it's a 3D shape, so it would be cubic, right? 343 cubic, and the unit is Raju. So it's actually it's Raju, R-A-J-U. So it's the total area of the Jain universe. What is it? 343 cubic Raju. Simple. Janav, you got it? Yeah. Everyone? No. Janav, you look lost. You seem a bit lost.
Yeah, I'm just confused about the height, but then I got like what you meant about the width. So
Okay. Let me. I don't know how to make it more simpler. Let's see what we can do about it. See, so if we have this, and this is the whole world, and in actual, this is the whole world. So it's the depth. The depth is 7 Rajus. So from front to the back, it's 7,000. It's 7 Rajus. Okay. The total height is 14 Raju. So, and from the top, you can see it's 1 Raju from the top. In the middle, it's 5 Rajus. In the middle, I mean, it's the portion where the Brahma Swarga is. So in the upper world. So we'll divide these 7 Rajus of the upper world into the 2 parts. So from the middle, it is 5 Raju. In the Madhyalok, it becomes 1 Raju and then 7 Raju. We have simple formula for this: length into breadth into height. So we'll multiply 7 into 14 by 4 into 14. It will come down to 7 into 7 into 7. That is the cube of 7. That would be 343 cubic Raju. Fine. If anybody has any doubts, please you can ask. So this is the total area of the 3 worlds as believed by Jainism. Any doubts, any questions, any confusion, do let me know. Simple? right? Fine. So that's how we say 343 Ghan Raju in Hindi, 343 cubic Rajus. That's what Jainism says about the universe. We're going to just, as of now, we are going to take it on the face value. Then later on, we'll see what to do about it. Fine. So now we are trying to answer this question that whether the soul actually exists, right? So now I would want you to say, to think on actually, that, okay, if this is the world where we all dwell, okay, so what do we have around us? What are the things that we all can see around us? So you are wherever you are sitting right now. Can you look around and tell me how many things do you have actually? Things as in things of different attributes altogether. I do not want that you see a watch and a wall and a glass and a table and a TV screen. No, these all are called matter. These, or everything that can be touched would be one. Everything that you can perceive would be two, right? So how many different kind of things you can see around in your room? Let's find out. We're trying to figure out what this universe is made up of. Okay. Okay. So let's begin with Soham. Where have you gone? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Soham. So what can you see around in your room as of now?
So my table and
Yeah, so you have table. So matter is there. For one, we'll call it matter, right?
Yeah.
What else? What else?
A lamp and
No,
yeah.
no, these will all fall as matter. We'll consider them to be matter. So Soham has matter in his house. What else? Anything else that you can see you have in your house which is peculiar to its nature? No, Soham, you cannot see anything else. Let me find. Okay, Nija. I would want Nija. Can you see? What special do you have in your room?
Objects.
Yeah, objects you have. We call all those objects matter. So I'll write matter object / object. Okay, right, that's done. What else other than these objects? Do you find anything which you can see or perceive around you? Just look around, look around. Maybe it can be something that you cannot see, but you can feel. Or some ghosts in your room, maybe? No?
No.
No, you don't have ghosts in your house?
No.
Then there must be something away from the objects, still it's there in your room, and you can still know that it is there without seeing it. Okay. I'm asking you to look around, like in your room, whatever is there. You have to tell me how many types of things are there. So one thing is there are objects. What other things are there in your room?
Air.
Air. Okay, let's say air. Have you read it in the comments? Okay. Okay, air. Okay, let me ask somebody else now. Jana. Okay, Adi is saying something. Yes, Adi.
Soul.
Sorry, soul. Where is soul?
If
Water.
uh,
Say water.
No, first tell me where
Yes.
is soul in your room? Can you show me the soul?
here.
She is a soul.
Kind of.
Kind of. What do you mean by kind of? Okay. The first thing I would say in our rooms, before we perceive the objects, the first thing that is around is our consciousness, right? That's how we see. So if I am to count whatever is there in this room, I have to include myself first, right? That's the very first thing that we are here, right? So a living being. Soul makes it a bit, somebody might even get it like paranormal or ghostly, whatever. So it's living. So you are perceiving. Okay, so there is a living thing that is you. Okay, so I myself am in this room. That should be the first thing actually. And then I see many objects around. other than soul and the objects? Do we have anything else in this room which has filled this room? Anything else? Air is obviously over here. Fine. We'll see how to classify air later on. Yes. Janav, do you have anything other than these two things? Can you see any other thing in your room? Yeah, no,
Not really.
not really. Okay. Soham?
Does water
be a-
count as matter?
It need not be a thing. It can be a phenomena. But it lets you be in your room. Nija, where are you sitting right now?
On a chair,
And where the chair is sitting on?
the floor.
And where the floor is sitting on? Yes. Nija, tell me where the floor is sitting on.
On top of the ground,
And where
Ground
the
floor?
ground is sitting on?
the floor, like
Yeah.
the concrete,
The concrete. And where the concrete is sitting on?
the earth,
Yeah. And where the earth is sitting on or roaming around or whatever.
In space.
Yeah. So in totality, you're sitting not on a chair, you're sitting in a space, aren't you? No.
Yeah.
Can you think that way? Yeah, so definitely there is space in your room. That's how you're sitting. If there was no space, how would you sit? You have space or not? Everybody, Soham, you have space in your room?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Anything else do you have in your room? Anybody?
Time.
How do you have time in your room? You have a watch?
Clock.
Yeah, clock.
Watch is an object. How do you have time in your room?
Because last lesson you said that everywhere, space and time is there, always there.
Okay, great. So time is because I can move, I can talk, I can just, we all are interacting, and it's happening because there is time which is constantly moving, right? We all are constantly evolving. So what is letting us evolve?
Is
It's the time. Time is constantly, it's running like anything. It's already what, 28 minutes. The classes we have passed 28 minutes. While you were sitting on that very chair in that very room, there was something that passed through you, right? You have become 28 minutes older. You feel a bit old now, Janav, Jia? You've grown up 28 minutes, sitting in that very chair in this very room on this online session. So definitely, just because you're sitting in a secluded room on a very comforting sofa, doesn't mean time is going to stop for you. It's constantly running after you. It's constantly making us grow, right? Oh, in India, today is Children's Day. Happy Children's Day. We all are growing, right? What did your parents do to become old? They must have worked very hard, and that's how they grew up. And how you guys are growing up yourselves? Wake up every morning and do some exercise, and that's how you grow up. How do you grow yourself up? Yes, Adi, how do you grow yourself?
You live for a bit longer.
What is the hack? If I want to become 10 years older in a day, how can I do that?
You can't.
Why? How long will it take for me to become 10 years older than what I am right now?
10 years itself.
Why? There is no shortcut? Can I not?
No, because time does not have, it just keeps moving. It doesn't stop.
So where does it move? In the temple, in the house, in the bathroom, in the school, in the library, where?
It just
Is
keeps
the
going
space
on
where we
because it is
enter and
always
we
there.
grow, or we outrun the time? Is there a way? Is there a hack that we can use? Where, okay, I decided that I do not want to grow further. It's enough. That's it. I cannot see my face grow more. elderly. No. So is there some place that, if I enter that particular room and I'll cease to grow, I'll stop to grow? Do you have
No.
anything such kind?
No.
Means time is everywhere and it is constantly making me grow. It's constantly making me old. Is it or is it not? Yes. So in your room where you're sitting, is there time? Yes, it's everywhere. Nobody can surpass the time. Time here. Okay. The air, because we can feel it. It's a cold breeze or it's a hot air. We can feel it. Because we can feel it, it touches us. Because it touches us, we'll qualify, we'll make air, we'll consider it as a matter only. Because anything that can be touched has to be an object. So because we can feel the breeze, we can feel the air, we can feel the cold breeze from the air conditioning. So therefore, air cannot be considered as a separate object. Okay, we call it matter. Fine. So we have what 4 things we have. The very first thing that I have is myself. Second thing, that all I can see around me in this room, that room is filled with the walls, the furniture, the table, the phone, the laptops, painting, air conditioner, whatever I can see or whatever I can actually feel by touching. So the air which is touching me. So I know whether it's hot or whether it's cold today, right? So it's constantly touching me, right? So all these things that can be touched, tasted, smelled, or heard, all these things are matter. In Jainism, we call them Pudgal. You must have heard its name, right? Pudgal. Have you heard the name Pudgal? Pudgal is matter. Second is myself, Jiva, which is soul, which is a living being, which I myself am. Third is space is called what? Akash, right? Akash. It's everywhere, including your room, your sofa. Okay, Nija? And then we have Kal. Kal is time. These 4 things are omnipresent. They are in my room, they are in your room, they are everywhere. There is no escaping from these 4 things. Because wherever you will go, you will take yourself, obviously. So the living being will be there, right? You will always be looking something around. You'll have something around you. No matter if you go to a secluded place, but you'll have a beach, you'll have a sea, you'll have a blue sky. You can see something, right? That would be the matter. That would be the Pudgal. Wherever you'll be standing and that particular object would be dwelling, that would be Akash or space. And the time is constantly after us all. Not just me, even this dress which I bought is getting older every day, every moment. This machine on which we're talking, this machine is also transforming constantly. It's getting over. Its warranty is ending every day, right? If we have 1 year warranty, it's ending every day. Means the time is after it, right? So time is omnipresent. It's after everything. You've cooked food in the morning, the time is right after it. In the evening, you'll not like eating it. Morning, it was delicious. Now it doesn't taste that good. Because time ate it, actually. Time ate its taste. Day after tomorrow, you'll not be able to even touch it. You'll not feel like eating it. It will become stale, right? So time is constantly changing everything, everything. You have brought fruits from the market, you have put it in the fridge, you forgot about it. After 15 days, you take it out from the fridge, they'll still look, okay, they have something left in them, but the taste will be different. They'll not taste the same as they would have tasted 15 days ago. Why? Who ate it? Who ate it? The time is constantly eating everybody. So time is all around. So these are the 4 objects that are omnipresent. The one is the knower, will be knowing that what all is here. Second would be what can be perceived through the senses, that would be matter. So matter has direct relationship with our senses. Matters are related to what? Our senses. How many senses do we have? 5. This is pre-primary education, right? We all get to learn about it in a kindergarten. How many senses do we have? Yes, 5. Which ones? We have this whole sense of touch, we have taste, we have sense of smell, we can see, we have sense of sight, and we can hear. These 5 senses. Everything that can be perceived by these 5 senses is called Pudgal. That's the blanket definition. There are other things that cannot be perceived by the five senses. They are also Pudgal, but they are not for, they're out of syllabus right now because we do not have any business with them. So it's okay. So Pudgal is anything that can be perceived by any of our senses. Okay, so you can hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. So my words are what? Jeev or Pudgal? Living or non-living? They are matter or Akash or Kal? What are they? Because they can be heard through the senses, they have to be matter. So the sound is matter. Okay, that's why while we pass through a hospital, it's mostly a silent zone. Because the sounds, they create vibration and they also disturb, but they also create vibrations. So, you know, when you go to a party and there is a very high tone DJ, you actually feel the beat in your body. It vibrates everything, right? You put water, the water also vibrates. So how? Because it's Pudgal, it's matter, it has its own particles, its own atoms, right? So anything that can be perceived by the senses is called matter. Okay, these are all sensory objects. Then Jeev is the perceiver, whoever gets to know. So who is curious is a Jiva. If I'm curious about what is here, I am the Jiva. Okay, Akash is the space that we have and Kal is the time. These are the four substances. But you know what? In Jainism, there are not four substances. They've included two more. Jainism believes in six substances. How many substances? Six. There are six dravyas. Substances means dravyas. How many dravyas are there? Six. You guys already know about it, I'm sure, right? You have already read about it? Yeah? So which two dravyas are remaining now? Anybody? Only Adi knows the answer. Jia, you will tell this time.
Dharmastika and Adharmastika.
Yeah, Dharmastika and Adharmastika. What do they do?
One is the medium for motion and one is the medium for
Rest.
medium for rest.
Okay, so is Dharma Dravya around in your room? Can you see it? Can you perceive it around? No, Dharma Dravya is not
No.
there in your room. Adi, Adharma Dravya is around in your room?
Yes.
Where? How does it look like? It's beautiful, handsome. What? Dharma,
No,
Dharma.
we can't see.
You can't see it, but it's there in your room. Dharma and Adharma, Dharmastika and Adharmastika. Are these two substances there in your room? Soham? Is
Oh yeah,
Dharma
that
and
that
Adharma in your room?
yeah,
Like,
they're everywhere.
can you tell them to say hi?
No,
Where? Can you show me where Dharma is, Adharma is?
I can't, but they're there.
How do you know that they are there? How do you know?
Because we move and stop.
Who
Like
moves?
and
Like if you
objects.
want to go outside, you can go from your room, right? So from one point, from point A, from your chair, if you want to go to a living room, you can travel, right? So from point A, we can move to point B. So this moving medium of motion, right? The medium that lets us move, that medium is called Dharma Dravya. Means, let me ask you this simple question. How many of you know how to swim? Swimming, who knows swimming? Okay, Janav knows it, Adi knows it, Soham knows it, Jia knows it, Nija, everybody knows it, except me, everybody knows in this class how to swim. Very good, very good. So I think Nija, I trust you, you swim really well. You swim well, Nija?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you show us all how to swim? Can you just swim right now? You know how to swim. What this so I can also do, but I don't know how to swim. Can you show me how you swim, Nija? Everybody wants to see you swim.
I need water though.
Why? You know swimming, right? Swim. Why do you need water? Who knows swimming, water or you?
Me.
Who is going to swim, you or water?
Me.
So then why do you need water? Okay, see, Soham is raising his hand. Okay, Soham, show us how to swim.
I was just going to say that you need water because it's the medium you swim in. So you need
So
a
without
medium.
water, you cannot swim,
Yeah, you can't.
and you know swimming, and you cannot,
Yeah.
right? So it's pretty clear. It's simply obvious. Nisha, it's okay. It's okay if you can't swim right now because you need water. Why? Because though we know how to swim, but without medium, we cannot swim. Without water, not me. Even the Olympic gold medalist person cannot swim if he has a gold medal in water in swimming. Without water, nobody. Why? Because without medium, there is no movement. So just like though I know how to swim, but without water, I'm helpless. Similarly, should we not ask this question? Then just like without water, I cannot swim, then is there something without which I cannot move? Did you get my question? If there is a medium for swimming, I am moving also, I'm walking, I'm running, right? So is there a medium for that as well? Or it happens without any medium? So you can plainly say that, oh, why do we need a medium for this? We have space. We have empty space all around. So space lets us move. Can we say that or not? It's pretty simple. Why do we need extra substance for that? We have space. I have this empty space, point A, point B. There is no hindrance in between. There is no obstacle. I'll start my journey from point A. I'll go to point B, right? This space, this empty space will let me travel to this point. Simple. Yes or no? So can space be called medium of motion? Can
No, because it's in its own, like,
Why? Why?
it's it,
Why?
because it's its own medium of motion, like it's there to do something else, like it's
If it can multitask, what is the problem? It is anyway giving you space to live. Can it not give you space to roam around?
no, because space is just there.
Oh, everything is just there, right? But there is plus point. Space can actually do it. See, because space has the space. Come on, to roam around, you need space, right? You have parking space, you have traffic space. You have to have some space, no? So if anybody has to move, what better medium than space there is there? So why do you need a Dharmastika to let you move? You understood my question?
Is it because it's in the space to make you move?
Yeah. I'm just asking, when space can do the same thing, why do you need an extra substance to do that? Space is there. I can see space all around me and I just run around. I go from point A to point B. You're saying that, okay, I'm walking from point A to point B. It's not because of the space, it's because of the Dharmastika. I'm asking why. Why can't the space alone can do this? We'll save one dravya, right? Instead of 6, we'll have 5. Did you get my question? Soham, did you understand what I'm asking?
Not fully.
Not fully. Nija, could you understand what I'm asking?
No.
No, I'll put it very simply. So in Jainism, there are 6 substances, okay? 4 substances are such which we have already seen. What are those 4 substances? We have seen about these 4 substances. They are all around in a room. I myself am here in this room. I can see the objects, that is Pudgal. There is a lot of space and there is time. Then what Adi and Jana and Jia just told us, that they know that there are 2 more substances. One is Dharmastika, which is medium of motion, and another is Adharmastika, which is medium of rest. Okay, that's what they've told me. Fine, I'll write Dharma, which is medium of motion, and Adharma, which is medium, sorry, of rest. Fine. These two more additions we need to make. So I asked Adi and Janav and Kia that why do you need dharma? They said because it's a medium of motion, just like Nija cannot swim without water, though she knows swimming. Adi is saying that I cannot move without dharma because that is the medium of movement. Okay, fine. Now I am saying you can save this. We do not need dharma dravya when we have space. The space can let us move. No. Where do you move? We move in the space, right? Where do we move? We move in the empty space. In the crowded place, we cannot move. A place which is empty, I can go from one point to another. Yes or no, Nija? Yes. So I'm asking, when the space can do the same job, it can let us go from point A to point B. Why do we require dharma dravya? When its only work is to let us move. It can very well be done by Akasha, right? That's what science believes. The present science does not believe in dharma and adharma dravya. They have this space and time and living and non-living things. That's what we understand. That's what we learn in the school, right? Yes or no? The present science only believes in these four dravyas. The living soul, it does not believe in the soul. It says the living organisms and non-living beings, right? And then there is space, there is time. Where do we move? We move in the space. Yes? Yes. So I'm simply asking, since you guys have already learned about these 6 substances, what is dharma dravya and why do we need it? Who is going to tell me? Think about it.
Anubhuti, Reena has an answer, maybe.
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
Reena.
Reena.
Yeah.
Hi. It's sort of making me think quite hard as well, your question. I was just wanted to find out if there is Akash outside of Teenlock.
That's a very positive direction where you have headed to. Yes, there is Akash out of Teenlock.
But there's no Dharma there.
Exactly.
So you can't move outside Teenlock.
Yes. So this is the Teenlock that we have. It has all the 5 substances and itself being the Akasha, and outside this Teenlock, there is whole vast expanse of Akasha. So the simple question would come, just like what Reena ji has said, that okay, we'll believe that Akasha moves, but are you sure that there is no such space where one cannot move? Because if there is a space where the movements are not allowed, then Akasha cannot be the medium. Had it been the medium, then there shouldn't be any space where the movements cannot happen. But outside these Teenlock, outside the world that we know, outside this very universe as propagated by the Jain Bhagwans, Jain Tirthankaras, out of these 3 worlds, there is only Akasha. And no Jeev can travel, no Pudgal can travel out of this lok. It means there is some restriction. Somebody has stopped the movement. So see, if Akash was the medium, each of these substances could have traveled to the endless sky. But since they are not traveling to the endless sky, we cognitively are compelled to believe that there is something other than Akash, something other than space that is directing or that is administering the movements. That particular extra thing that has to exist if this framework has to work is called dharma. Dharma is that glue which binds the Jeev and Pudgal to the Akasha. So Jeev and Pudgal can travel to the Akasha in the medium of dharma dravya, just like we can swim in the swimming pool only if there is water. So the swimming pool has all these space. You have all these skills to swim, but without water, neither the swimming pool space nor your skills will work. Similarly, Akash has whole space to travel and Jiva has Kriyavati Shakti to travel. But without the medium of Dharma Dravya, which is spread all over this world, in your houses, in the roads, in the desert, in the sea, in the sky, everywhere, the Dharma Dravya is spread, and that Dharma Dravya becomes the medium for our movements. Okay, that's why, because Jainism has Keval Gyani Bhagwan, who knows everything, he has said that, see, this world is only of 343 cubic Raju. That's a very limited space, but there is no end to the universe. The universe is infinite, right? There is no end to the universe. There is not a big wall. How do you know that there is no end to the universe? Fine, let's believe that there is a big wall surrounding this whole Teen Lok. Okay, then where is that big wall standing upon? On what does that big wall stand? What is beyond that big wall? Whatever that is beyond that big wall, is it not in space? So when you start to think about it, you'll find there is no ending to the space. So though these three worlds end in 343 cubic Raju, but the space is endless. But our movements are not into that endless space. We cannot move to or travel to that endless space. It means the medium of our travel, the medium of our motion, it lies in these three worlds, and we call it Dharma Dravya. And Adharma Dravya is because there is a movement, there has to be something where we can rest. So just like we need a medium to move, we also need a medium that lets us rest, that lets us stop. Okay, fine, everybody, you got it. That's why Jainism believes.
Sorry
Yes.
to interrupt. I was just wondering, and when you asked the question before, my answer was thinking that if space was allowing you to move, then how would you stop? Is that, I don't know, does that make sense?
Similar, that same argument will again go to the Dharma Dravya as well. If Dharma is allowing us to move, how will we stop?
So I was trying to answer your question about why space isn't the thing that's allowing us to move. Because
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah.
If space was the reason, we would have not stopped at this three world. We would have just crossed these borders of these Teen Lok, and we would have been wandering everywhere, literally. But we do not wander. So all the Narkis live in this lower part. The Devas have this higher part. The Manushyas and Tiranchas live in the middle, and nobody goes out. The Manushya, like the birds cannot just fly away from this land to out of these three worlds, right? They cannot. So why are they not able to? Had Akash Dravya being the medium of motion, we would have. There would be no boundaries. But because of the fact that we cannot, it means that there is not just the Akasha, there is something other than Akasha which is controlling or which is helping us move. Right? This was actually asked by Acharya Kundakundev in Panchastikaya Sangrah Granth. And that's how he proved that, okay, we need Dharmastikaya. He questioned himself that why the Akasha cannot work Akasha cannot help us in moving. So he said, it will, if you have a myopic picture of the world in your mind. But I'm talking about how Kevali Bhagwan sees this world. And he sees that this world, this Lokakash is very small part of this whole world. It's Lokakash, 343 cubic Raju. Beyond it, there is endless sky. And nobody moves to that sky. I want the reason to know why nobody goes to that space. Simply because there is no medium to go to that space. Okay? Fine, everyone. So that's why Jains believe in this formation, in this world universe that has these 6 substances. The fact is, there is not even a tiny amount of space that does not have any of these dravyas. Even if I take a space as small as the tip of my pencil, even that space has all these 6 dravyas, because it has countless Nigodhya Jivas, that's Jeev. It has space. They are constantly having their own time, modifying with their own time. They're constantly taking birth and dying. So they are constantly having movement. So every space, your room, your house, your school, your temple, market, anywhere you go, these 6 substances you'll find everywhere without an exception. Only exception is Alokakash, which is beyond this 3 lokas. Okay, that's why we, okay, anything else that you can think of that we need to make our lives better? Anything else? Can you imagine? See, without these 6, nothing will work. So it cannot be less than 6. That's what we just discussed. The 4 will not be enough. There has to be 6. Dharma and adharma has to be added. Can we have a 7th substance? Think about it. I think we can discuss about that possibility in the next class. Can we have 7th substance? Is it possible to have another substance to do something? So because Acharya Ramaswamy in his scripture Tattvar Sutra, he said what these 6 dravyas do. So he very politely said they help each other. Parasparopagraho jivanam. So all these 6 substances are there to help each other and make this universe survive. Okay, so when I walk, dharma helps me. When I stop, adharma helps me. This body is made up of Pudgal. Where I'm resting is Akash, and time is constantly letting me move. So all these 6 substances are making this universe. They have maintained this universe, and it's because of these 6 substances the universe exists. Okay, so that's why in Jain philosophy, if somebody asks you how many types of substances are there, there are 6. The whole idea that we want to talk about is about the existence of Jiva. But before that, we have to know what existence is there around when we think about it. Okay, so not from the perspective that what Jainism believes in, from the perspective that what we can find out by looking around. So Nija, you understood by looking at your room, did you find these 6 substances in your room or not?
Yeah.
You have these 6 substances in your room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have sunlight in your room or not?
Yeah.
So which substance is that sunlight?
It's space.
Is it space?
Oh no.
It's time? Yeah, because sunlight comes during daytime. It can be time.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's not time. You can see it, right? Yeah, something that can be perceived through your senses. It has to be matter. So sunlight is matter because it's visible to the eye. Okay. Yeah. And what is essential is invisible to the eye. Something that is essential for us is our very innate soul, very innate self that perceives but cannot be perceived, cannot be seen. That's the soul. That's the Jiva. We'll be talking about its existence, its worth in the next class, while we'll also be talking about the 8 karmas that I know you must have read already about, but we'll be doing that. And if we've established the existence of soul, we can conclude this chapter of 5 Parmeshthis. Okay? If you have any questions, you think about it, think it through about these 6 substances. And then in the next class, we'll move forward. Okay.
Adi had something to say.
Yes. Sorry.
Adi.
Isn't, as you said, isn't sunlight the 6 dravyas? Like how?
Sorry, what? The sunlight is?
Before you said all objects or stuff like that have 6 dravyas or are 6 dravyas. So isn't sunlight, because we can see sunlight on 6 dravyas? Well, has 6 dravyas.
Your voice is breaking. Are you
No,
saying
so
that?
I think Adi has misunderstood that or I think he understood that all objects have 6 dravyas, but that's not what we're saying, Adi. What Manubhavji is saying is every single place in everywhere you can imagine, it contains 6 dravyas. You understand? So, but sunlight does not contain 6 dravyas. It is one of the 6 dravyas.
Yes. Okay, so where sunlight is, that space contains 6 dravyas. It contains you because sunlight touches you. It contains all other objects, your furniture. It contains space, time, dharma, and adharma, everything. Okay, fine. Okay, brilliant. So if you have any questions, you think it through, think about it. In the next class, we are going to learn about the existence of soul. I'll also want that you all think on this, what according to you is soul, or the concept of soul is. Not what you have learned already in your Pathshala, what you actually think. Okay, because we are trying to make Jainism a practical thing. Just like we tried discovering about the 6 dravyas in a room, we'll try to discover about the soul, how it works, what is it, what's its nature. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, we'll conclude today's class. We'll join our hands. I'll do quickly one Jnani Stuti and then we'll find out. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. 9 times through Mukar mantra. Okay, thank you. Jai Jitendra.
Judgment.
Thank you.